And welcome back to the Extra Point here on WG on 91.1 FM, online at WGFM.com or on Twitter at Weagle_AU or at Eagle Eye TV. About 30 minutes to go in the show, and the NBA is on its way back tonight. LeBron James said yesterday he's going to activate the playoff push. They get the Lakers back into the playoff conversation. The Lakers currently 10th in the West. Not really sure what LeBron means, but we're going to go with it.
I think he's trying to say he's going to go into his playoffs.
Zero dark 30-23 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, whatever he's doing these days.
Super Saiyan playoff mode where he just dominates the game. I don't believe it. I don't think that's just a thing he actively turns on. I think it's just playoff atmosphere just gets to him and he does what LeBron does in the playoffs.
And so that makes you not believe him. When he does what he does, I 100% believe he can make the playoffs.
I believe that he can make the playoffs, but I would also caution Lakers fans from getting too excited because the fact that you haven't even come fully out of the All-Star break yet. I mean, the first games are tonight. The fact that LeBron's going into playoff mode right now, I think that shows what LeBron thinks about the rest of his team. I think that shows that he thinks he's got to go into playoff mode right now just to get them into the playoffs.
Everyone knows it.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's concerning because, let's be honest, I know it's going to be a story similar to Tom Brady versus time, but LeBron's getting older. I'm not sure he can sustain playoff mode for the next 20
months or whatever,
20 some odd games, and then into the playoffs. I mean, I don't see him.
If LeBron,
I guess it's more than that. It's close to 30 games.
If LeBron James somehow, some way, by the grace of God, climbs the Lakers back into this playoff push,
I think he very well can.
As the 8th seed, defeat the Golden State Warriors on the Lakers' trek to an NBA Finals, that is an ESPN 30 for 30 right there in itself.
Now, we're not talking about them going far once they're in the playoffs. We're just talking about them getting the playoffs.
If LeBron's going to go this zero dark 23, whatever he's going to do, I want all or nothing. You either stay yourself out the playoffs or you win it all.
I honestly think he's got to get the Lakers to the 7 seed because I think if you can get them above the 8 seed where you don't have to match up with the Warriors, it would make for very interesting playoff matchups. I mean, if you can get the 7 seed, the Nuggets have never been there before, have never been under the bright lights of necessarily with all the pressure of being the 2 seed. The Thunder, I mean, they're good and they have a couple superstars, but we'll see what LeBron could do against them if he could get up to the 6th seed. I mean, just about everybody else in the playoffs, I think he's got the potential to make something interesting, assuming he has gas left in the tank. But, I mean, if they match up with the Warriors, you're looking at a 4-game sweep where, LeBron might average 42 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, but they'll still lose every game by 25.
You know, the Lakers are only 5 games out of the 6th seed. That's not a tall task.
I agree with you there, but I think this is going to require the Jazz and Spurs to come back to them, which is very well could happen, and then it becomes, can you outrace the Kings? Because I don't expect the Clippers to be the 8th seed when it's all said and done.
My problem is the Lakers shouldn't be in the position in the first place.
Should they? I mean, it's not a great team.
Are you referencing that they should be in the playoffs because LeBron should come back from injury sooner? What do you
Even if
mean by
LeBron
that?
goes down, the way the Lakers play when LeBron was out, they just did not mesh well. The Lakers, the talent the Lakers have, they shouldn't be behind the likes of the Kings or the Clippers, which are the NBA equivalent of my grandmother's quilt that she pitched together.
Well, I mean, the Clippers got hot at the beginning of the year, got all the way up to the 1 seed, and it's like I've said previously on the show, is just they've been a slow bleed out to all the way down to the 8 seed. I don't expect them to be there in the end. I don't think they're very good, But the Kings have actually done, contrary to what they've done in the past 15 years, they've done a decent job building a solid little up-and-coming team here.
It's not a knock against the Kings. It's more of you're the Los Angeles Lakers. You have LeBron James. You put together pieces around him that, are good players. I mean, Brandon Ingram's a good player, and Kyle Kuzma's great. But then you're under 500 when you shouldn't be, and I don't care that LeBron was gone for 17 plus games. Right? You have a team that you were supposed to build around LeBron that was able to withstand something like this, and now you're behind the likes of the Clippers and the Kings, and you have the teams like the Wolves and the Mavericks behind you scratching at your back. I mean, the Lakers shouldn't be where they're at right now. They have to do better for themselves as a franchise to make sure they don't get into these situations again. LeBron doesn't need to turn on playoff mode after the All-Star break because your team's that trash.
Well, I mean, the Lakers have been worse trash than they are right now. I mean, LeBron has definitely improved this team as far as any shot that they have to get to the playoffs. But I mean, in that 17-game stretch without him, they were terrible.
Anyone could have improved the team outside of LeBron coming into this season, though. Granted, I mean, they were so bad.
That's
true.
The
Lakers were so bad.
Great.
I mean, right now, let's call it what it is. It's LeBron and 13 guys that they could potentially be trading right now, that they're looking to trade. They did look to trade and offered up
anything.
2/3 of them to the Pelicans, and it would have been Rondo, LeBron, and AD, and I guess they could go out and sign Chris Bosh to a 10-day contract and have those four just play 5-on-4 basketball. That's what it would have been if they had gotten AD. But I mean, this team's just.
I'd buy a ticket.
Yeah,
it would be entertaining. They would lose every game, but actually they might beat teams like the Suns and the Knicks.
I would take them to get into the playoffs more than this team right now. Hot take.
I mean, Vegas knows something with the fact that Vegas really hates the Lakers' chances of making the playoffs. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I mean, Vegas knows that LeBron's going to have to completely put this team on his back and carry them. And I don't see him. I see him at some point when it's looking like, I can only get to that 8 seed. Maybe I don't want to go play an extra 4 games against the Warriors and get blown out and have that on my resume. Maybe if I just ease up a little bit, come in that 9 spot, people won't be too upset, and I can get my first summer off to go heal my body in 15 years.
And I don't know what the Lakers pick situation is off the top of my head, but maybe they can get into the lottery run and get a higher pick, get a solid young contributor for
Take
that
for
team.
Zion.
That would
maybe.
They'd have to lose like every game.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying someone else.
They would
top
legitimately
lottery.
have to lose out, honestly, in order to truly insert themselves. Because, I mean, even then, they would still they could still be 5 or 6 games up on the Sun. Well, they will be. They'll be 8 or 9 games up on these teams at the very bottom in terms of lottery pick value and potential to get.
I'm
one
just
of these
saying,
high picks.
if the Lakers get in the lottery, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets rigged for the Lakers.
I mean, it always is.
It's always rigged.
I mean,
You've been on the lottery thing all this week.
I told you, I'm a Charlotte fan. I'm still upset about Anthony Davis.
I mean, it's if it were rigged, it would make sense for them to rig it this offseason for teams like the Lakers and the Knicks in your massive markets to make them better. I don't think it's going to be rigged for your Cavs that you've been alleging it's been rigged for.
We'll see.
I just think they've actually had some ridiculous luck in the past.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break a little bit early, and then when we come back, we'll get into our college basketball pick'em, as we'll have about 15 minutes to get through all of that. You're listening to the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM online at WEGLFM.com. We'll be right back with the last segment here on Thursday's show.
Darren College, a former NFL Super Bowl champion, signed the most important contract of his life to serve in the Army National Guard.
I've had a lot of military in my family. It's a big part of what my family's done for a long time. I want to go out there and make a difference. I didn't find that working behind a desk, so for me it was a pretty easy decision to make. And then the opportunity to serve my community and serve my country was just icing on the cake.
To learn how to be part of the Army National Guard, log on to nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Our daughter might be drinking or taking something else. We can't talk with her about it. She keeps everything secret. But when I pretend everything is okay, I'm keeping secrets too. My therapist suggested Al-Anon family groups. It was helpful to hear what other parents said. Are you troubled by someone's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or visit alanonfamilygroups.org.
Hi, I'm Anthony Anderson, and on TV, I play a dad who has it all. But growing up, my real life was very different. My parents taught me that tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. That's why they each had life insurance to take care of the future. I got my first policy when I was 18. Now, would your family be okay if something happened to you? If you can buy a latte, you can buy life insurance. It's that affordable. Join me in taking care of our family's futures at lifehappens.org.
A public service message from the nonprofit Life Happens.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much,
for taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for taking you to your therapies, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. That's why AARP gives you the information to provide even better care for your loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hold up! Whoa, 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 whoa! Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, yeah! Yeah! Get out the way!
And welcome back into the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM online at WEGLFM.com. 15 minutes ago, but remember, we never go anywhere. You can always catch the podcast by searching WEGL 91.1 FM on SoundCloud and on iTunes. You can also watch the show live on Eagle Eye TV Channel 6 on campus, Channel 13 on WOW Channel 13 off campus, or Charter Channel 182 off campus as well. And all the shows are kept on the Twitter and Periscope for you to go back and watch as well on demand. Kind of some breaking news. We talked about the Nike stock, being just fine. It's not anymore. It's down 1 percentage point, I guess. I don't really know how to read stocks very well, but it's down 1, guys. It's in the red. Oh, just come back up a little bit.
Did you say 1% or 1 point?
1 point, I believe.
Wait. Let me double check the tweet.
No, so Nike is at 83.97 for each per share costs about $83.97. It's down 87 cents now.
Oh, so it's 1 percentage point.
Yeah, it's 1%.
Okay, so I was right the first time. I'm smart, guys. I know how to read stuff.
We're now a business.
You just said.
Look, I have a bachelor's degree. Let's get into our college pick'em. Last week, Carter and Josh, you guys went 7-1.
Dang.
Okay. I went 5-3. Aiden wasn't even here. So Aiden, I'm giving you
no L's.
I'm giving you a special stipulation today, Aiden. Okay. I've been thinking this up for about 2 minutes now since the commercial break, and this is what's going to happen with you. Your games are double or nothing this week.
Ooh. Okay.
That's how you're going to catch back up if you can catch back up.
Sounds good.
So your games will either be 2-0 or 0-2 if you get them right or wrong.
Double the swings. I like it.
So first up, Auburn v. Kentucky. We'll go Carter, Josh, myself, and then Aiden. We're going pretty much based off of record at this point. So Carter, we'll start with you. Auburn v. Kentucky. We got about 13 minutes. We got 8 games, so we're going rapid fire here.
In Rupp, I think it's going to be very loud. I think Auburn's got the best shot that it's had. I mean, last week they didn't have a shot in this game. Now they do. I still think Kentucky hangs on, but in the words of Lee Corso, I think it's going to be closer than the experts think.
Josh?
Give me Auburn. I think Auburn's got great momentum heading in. Granted, Auburn's won at Rupp twice in, like, the history of forever, I'm pretty sure, is what I read. So give me the third win.
I will go with Kentucky. I got to stay safe on this one. I think Auburn will put up a great fight, but I don't trust them to win on the road in Rupp. Aiden.
Momentum's one thing. Kentucky's at home. Auburn loses.
Everybody on Kentucky except for Josh. Move on to Louisville versus Virginia. Louisville's coming off the tough loss to Syracuse, and they'll go and play a tough team in Virginia. Carter, who you got?
I mean, I think Louisville's broken. I think Duke broke them last
week.
and so I'm going with Virginia, just because if Virginia just pulls out any full court press, they'll win by 45.
Josh?
Yeah, I think coming off a 20-point loss, I'm pretty sure, to Syracuse, I think Virginia will strangle them out for an easy home win.
Home state represent. I'll stick with Virginia as well. Aiden?
I'm going for the sweep there with you guys. I like it. Virginia.
Tennessee, LSU. LSU just lost against Florida. So this game, I guess it's still interesting. Both Tennessee and Florida. Tennessee lost a couple of games ago. LSU just lost last night. So the hype is still there. It probably died down a little bit, but the hype is still there. Carter, who you got?
It's going to be an interesting matchup, and I'm going to go with LSU just because I feel like they're the only other team in the conference that matches up with Tennessee's big men somewhat. So I'm going to go with LSU.
Josh?
This is my game of the week. I think Tennessee kind of sleptwalked through an easy win in against Vanderbilt, but didn't make it seem easy at times. So I'm gonna go Tennessee here with I wouldn't say upset, but a tough away win against LSU.
Here, I think I'm gonna go at Tennessee. They burned me last time, but I'm gonna trust the Vols right here on this game. Aiden?
LSU, tough overtime loss against Florida. I think they're tired from that. Tennessee's going to take this one.
So Tennessee, pretty much clean except for Carter picking LSU.
Once again.
Iowa State, TCU. This is a tough one because, Iowa State's, usually a good basketball team, but TCU's kind of just there.
They're all over the map.
They can beat Iowa State or they can just not show up. And kind of if you think about it too hard, TCU's kind of like Auburn. When you think down to it, they're 17-8. They're kind of there, but they're kind of not. Now Auburn's hit the hot streak, and I don't know if TCU is there yet.
Maybe the ceiling and the floor may not be as extreme as Auburn is.
Maybe not, but TCU is there. Carter, who you got?
I'm gonna go with TCU just because this feels like one of those random games that Iowa State always has a tendency to lose, and I like the home team here.
I'm going to go Iowa State. I'm not a huge fan of this TCU team. They've kind of struggled with offense at times, and I don't think that'll be enough to beat this Iowa State team, even at home.
I don't like it, but I'm also going with Iowa State. I feel like TCU's going to show up, and they probably will. They probably put on a great performance, but I'm going to like Iowa State in this one. Aiden?
Both teams have been so streaky their past 3 games, with TCU winning, with losing all 3 of those. Just because of that, them coming into this ranked opponent, I still have to give it to Iowa State. Sorry, Carter.
Carter, once again, hung out to dry on these picks, but that's the danger of,
Is there going to be
tied for the lead.
Some big swings coming soon next week. Potentially. No, there will be, let me tell you.
Up next, Florida State, North Carolina. Florida State, great ACC school. North Carolina coming off a big win against number 1 Duke. Granted, they were without one of their racehorses in Zion Williamson. But, Carter, who are you going to have in this game?
I'm going to take UNC at home at Chapel Hill. I think they've got a lot of momentum. As long as they just don't let themselves have an emotional letdown after a big-time road win at Duke.
Josh?
I'm going to also go North Carolina for similar reasons, momentum, and I think it won't take much, but I'm confident that they'll shoot better at home against Florida State than they did against Duke, which won't be hard.
Josh, I'm going to need you to pick some teams that aren't ranked the higher seed in a game.
Oh, you wait. Just wait. You wait.
He said just you wait. I'm also going to pick UNC at home, coming off a big win against Duke. I think it's just going to be tough. And, I mean, you're talking about a UNC team that went on the road to beat Duke. They're going to come back home. They're about to get a hero's parade for what they did against Duke. Aiden.
2 road wins for UNC. I'm going to stick them there at home. I like what they're doing.
All right, now, I believe this is the game where we're all gonna look at this one differently. Duke versus Syracuse. Duke losing Zion. Syracuse helping out with Duke and breaking Louisville, but a 20-point win yesterday. Carter, who do you have in this game?
I'm gonna go Syracuse because I think it's gonna be season sweep for Syracuse, and I believe that without Zion, Duke hasn't figured out who they are. I think they're gonna jack up a lot of threes, and I know that the difference from Cameron Indoor and how small that is to the Carrier Dome. The Carrier Dome is a very tough place to shoot threes in, and I like Syracuse winning this one.
Josh?
I will also go with the Fightin' Oranges, Syracuse. I think Duke's really going to miss Zion. He does so much for them on both sides of the floor, and I think RJ and Cam they'll put up points, but it'll be just empty stats and a tough loss for Duke.
You guys kind of took my pick. I didn't think anybody was going to go with Syracuse, but I'm sitting here. I got to climb back in somehow. I got to pick some games. Duke may be without Zion, but it ain't like they still don't have some stars over there with RJ and company. So I'm going to pick Duke to bounce back in a tough game on the road. Duke may not even be close in this game, to be quite honest. But I'm going to pick on. I believe it's a safe pick to pick Duke to say, hey, they got some playmakers over there. Coach K is going to know what he's going to do. He's going to get this team ready without Zion, and they're going to put out a game plan where maybe they won't crush Syracuse, but they'll squeak by and get out with the win. So I'll take Duke to kind of climb back into this pick 'em. Aiden.
I'm with you there on that one. After maybe just a couple days of practice, I like where Duke sits. They're just going to figure things out even without Zion. They've got a bunch of playmakers there.
Jared, by the way you're talking, you make it sound like you went 1-7 last week rather than 5-3.
I feel like I did. I feel it in my heart, in my bones. I feel like I went 1-7. Up next, Kansas, Texas Tech. This is an interesting one. Kansas, one of the better teams in the Big 12, or best team in the Big 12. What am I talking about? And then there's Texas Tech, who's, they've had ups and downs, but they're still a pretty good Big 12 team. And the Big 12 can be a little bit weird. See previously TCU. So Carter, who do you have for Kansas, Texas Tech?
I like Texas Tech at home against Kansas. Kansas has struggled with injuries all year that have really affected them and their ability to compete at the level that we're accustomed with Kansas. I like Texas Tech at home here.
I was gonna say Texas Tech going in, but I'm feeling the Jayhawks tonight, or well, I guess Saturday. But whatever. I'm gonna go Kansas.
Strong pick there.
I'm also gonna go Kansas in this one. I just think there'll be too much for Texas Tech. Aiden?
Last matchup, Kansas did win that one, 79-63. I think Texas Tech can come back and get them there. I'll go with them.
And lastly, Ohio State, Maryland, a Big Ten matchup. Maryland doing pretty good for themselves this year. And Ohio State did well, kind of falling off, but they're trying to climb the way back. Carter, who you got?
This is going to be my one that I'm least confident about, but I don't know why. I'm just feeling an Ohio State upset on the road at Maryland this weekend, so I'm going to roll with Ohio State here.
Josh?
I'm having a tough time picking this one. I'm not. Let's see. Maryland just came off of a tough win over Iowa. I'm going to go Maryland.
You can go Maryland. I'm also going to go Maryland as well. I just think Ohio State's just having a tough go. Don't really know who they are right now. Aiden.
All right, after Carter just kind of shocked me there with a little something, he'll tell you about that. But I'm going to go with Maryland. I think they can pull this one off against the Ohio State University.
And so that's going to be our picks for today. Now, there is some stuff happening that I guess I can consider breaking news now.
Yeah,
wait. What
are you
is
talking about Jim Boeheim?
So I'm talking about Jim Boeheim in a second. What happened with him? But I'm bringing this to Josh's way. Frank Kaminsky is seeking a buyout from the Hornets.
Thank God. About time.
So Frank Kaminsky looking for a buyout for the Hornets, and now breaking news: Syracuse coach Jim Boeheim was behind the wheel of a car that killed hit and killed a pedestrian.
Today.
That
this morning?
I believe District Attorney Bill Fitzpatrick tells WSYR. I guess that's today. I guess it either happened either last night or this morning. Trying to get some more information on that.
It says I don't know. Around midnight. I guess it happened last night.
Yeah. So
who picked Syracuse?
It was on
can we change our
I picked
picks?
Duke.
I picked Duke. I know it was Carter and John.
Can I switch to Duke now?
No, it's locked in.
What?
I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna go Syracuse still.
So he was outside his car at Interstate 690 after being involved in another unrelated accident due to bad weather, and Boeheim's car struck him around midnight.
Was this guy okay? So it says he was driving down the highway. There's no evidence of alcohol or drugs, and he was driving the proper speed. Was there just a guy just walking in the middle of the highway?
It looks like his car was in an accident on the side of the road. And you know how the side of the road can be on highways. You know, if you don't see somebody at night, you can easily clip them. And another update just came through that Syracuse head coach Jim Boeheim won't face any charges after fatally striking a pedestrian on the highway. He is cooperating with police.
You know that's gotta mentally, how focused can him and the team be with this coming out this morning? I mean, obviously it may not affect the team as much, but it's probably going to affect their preparation here over the next couple of days.
It's just all the focus will go on him for the next week.
Yeah.
Rather than the games at hand.
Especially in this immediate part where he's having to cooperate in the investigation. I mean, he's going to... I can't help but not think that this is somehow going to affect how they prepare for Saturday, just because I don't feel like his mind can be fully in it over the next couple of days as he cooperates in the investigation.
Well, we've hit the 9 o'clock mark, which means our time is up. However, if you want an update, Nike's stock is still down about 0.88%. Okay, so we're not the one mark anymore, but that's where we're at right now. But that's gonna do it for the show today. Thank you guys for a tremendous week. We'll see you guys all next week here on the Extra Point. Remember that you can catch the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes at WEGL 91.1 FM, and you can also catch the show on Eagle Eye TV Channel 6 on campus and on off campus on WOW Channel 13 and Charter Spectrum 182. Thank you for listening to the Extra Point. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to The Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM and Eagle Eye TV. For more of The Extra Point, go to WEGLFM.com for full shows and clips. Head over to WEGL 91.1 FM on iTunes and SoundCloud for replays. You can find the show after the fact on Eagle Eye TV on Charter Channel 182 and WOW Channel 13. Follow us on Twitter at Weagle_AU and at @TheExtra_Point. Join us again as we bring you the X's and O's from around the plains of Auburn and the nation, Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. WEGL Sports, where every game lives.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. This bigger than boys, I dig it